Hello friends, I welcome you all to this semester number 4 under the CBCS pattern. Syllabus is to be implemented from June 2019 onwards. This is a very revised, corrected syllabus we are going to follow. The topic we are discussing is stereochemistry from paper number 8, organic chemistry. The expected learning outcome from this particular topic is that students should learn the basic knowledge regarding the conformational analysis of organic compounds. The details of the syllabus are as given like this. Point number 1 is the information regarding conformational isomerism. Then we are going to see the methods of representation of the conformers. Then we are going to discuss in detail the conformational analysis of only two molecules. One is ethane and other one is N-butane. Next point of our discussion will be regarding the cycloalkanes, how the conformational isomerism is present in the 6-membered cyclic ring. We are also going to discuss in detail the conformational analysis, that is stability of the different forms of the same cyclohexane and some of their derivatives. We are also going to discuss the interesting phenomenon of locking of conformation in tertiary butyl cyclohexane. So with this brief introduction to the syllabus, let us begin with the activity. I will suggest that you stop here, you pause here the video so that you go through this particular activity without fail. And when you complete your task, then and then only you resume this particular video. Okay? The task is draw the possible structures for C3H6O. Take your notebook. Yes. Draw the possible structures of C3H6O. The molecule is containing 3 carbon atoms, yes, 6 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen. Whatever basic information and knowledge you have from the organic chemistry since standard 11, yes, regarding the valencies of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, you use that knowledge and try to draw all the possible number of structures for this particular compound which is having molecular formula C3H6O. For your help, let me tell you, carbon has valency equal to 4. Hydrogen has valency equal to 1. Oxygen has valency equal to 2. That means carbon can form 4 bonds, hydrogen can form only 1 bond, and oxygen can form 2 bonds. Assuming this particular phenomenon, the fact, you should try to draw number of possible structures for this particular compound, whose molecular formula is C3H6O. I hope you have paused the video and drawn the possible number of structures in your notebook. Okay? Let us see which structures you could have drawn. You must have drawn, yes, 1, 2, at the most 3 structures. This is my experience since last so many years. Yes, you could have drawn the first structure, that is acetone. Second structure that is, yes, you must have drawn this structure again, CH3, CH2, CH4. Yeah. Only these 2 structures you have drawn, I am sure. If at all you could have drawn more than 2, then you are a scholar student. Okay? So try to draw all these structures in your notebook now, because all these 9 structures are the possible structures for the compound C3H6O. Okay? Again, pause here the video to take this down. Draw all these 9 structures in your notebook. You will come to know out of these structures, one is ketone, this one is ketone, this is alcohol, this is again another alcohol, this is cyclic alcohol, another alcohol, here it is aldehyde, this is ether, another ether, cyclic ether, this and this, these two are cyclic ethers. Okay? So in all these structures, you will observe that carbon is having 4 bonds, oxygen is having 2 bonds, and hydrogen is having only 1. So this fulfillment of the valencies of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, taking into consideration all these valencies, we have tried to draw all these 9 structures. Okay? So this is the interesting phenomenon where the molecular formula is same, yes, but the structural formula are different. Structural formulae are different. So by observing all these structures, you must have known this particular fact that where the molecules have same molecular formulae, but different connectivity between the atoms. These are said to be the constitutional isomers. The constitution itself, the structure itself, it is different, and therefore such isomers are named as constitutional isomers. Okay? There are different types of constitutional isomers. For example, there are isomers where the chain size is different. There are isomers where the position of the functional group is different. Functional group is same, but position of the functional group is different. Then there are certain isomers where the functional group itself is different. For example, in the previous slide we have seen few structures are ketones, few are alcohols, few are ethers, and one is aldehyde. So functional group is totally different. So these can be termed as functional group isomers, and the isomerism is named as functional group isomerism. If the functional groups are same, but the position of the functional group is different, then those are called positional isomers. Yes? And where the chain isomerism is there, the functional group is same, but the chain size is different, then in that case, it is said to be the chain isomers. The branching is different. Total number of carbon atoms, of course, molecular formula is same. So the branching is different. That is called chain isomers. So these 3 types are the types of constitutional isomerism. Now we are going to see another type, that is stereoisomerism, where the molecular formula is same. Even the structural formula is also same. That means these isomers have the same type of chain size, same position of the functional group, as well as these have the same functional group is there. So all of these are having just difference in the spatial arrangement of atoms or groups. That is the arrangement of the groups or atoms in the space. That arrangement is different. That arrangement is called configuration. And that configuration is different, same molecular formula, same structural formula, but different arrangement of groups or atoms in space, that is different configuration. Such isomers are named as stereoisomers, and the phenomenon is called stereoisomerism. Let us have a brief recap what we have studied so far. So stereochemistry is a branch of chemistry which deals with this study of spatial arrangement of atoms in a molecule. It has two different types. Stereoisomerism is of two different types. First is configurational isomerism, where the arrangement of atoms or groups in the particular structures is different and the isomers cannot be interconverted into each other without breaking of a bond. When we will come to know the examples of this, you will come to know the exact structure, exact scenario, how it is impossible for such isomers to get interconverted into each other without breaking a bond. Okay, because the examples are, yes, optical isomerism and geometrical isomerism. Since 11th standard you have come across all these terms very well, you are well acquainted with these two types of stereoisomerism. This is the configurational isomerism, first type of stereoisomerism. So stereoisomerism, it is having two different types, configurational isomerism and conformational isomerism. Out of this configurational isomerism, it is of again two types. One is optical isomerism and second one is geometrical isomerism. Now where we can have this optical isomerism? Yes, to show, to exhibit optical isomerism, the molecule should fulfill two different conditions. What are these two conditions? First is the compound should have, the molecule must have an asymmetric carbon atom. What's the meaning of asymmetric carbon atom? Yes, asymmetric carbon atom is that carbon which has been connected to four different atoms or groups. The valencies of the four valencies of carbon have been satisfied by four different groups or atoms. Such carbon is named as asymmetric carbon atom. Okay, so existence of such asymmetric carbon atom is the first condition to show optical isomerism. What is the second condition? Yes, it should produce the non-superimposable mirror images. Okay, this is the second condition. That means there should be, the molecule must have a dissymmetry within that particular bond. There should not be any element of symmetry in the molecule. Then only the molecule is optically. What is optically active? Yes, when the solution of such optical isomers has been prepared and it is kept in a polarimetric tube, then when the plane polarized light passes through that solution, it is observed that the plane of the plane polarized light is being rotated either clockwise or anti-clockwise. If it is shifting or rotating that plane of plane polarized light to the clockwise direction, yes, then it is called dextrorotatory compound. Okay, and if it is rotating the plane of plane polarized light to the left hand, or we can say anti-clockwise, then it is named as levorotatory isomer. Okay, so this is regarding the optical isomer. What is meant by geometrical isomerism? Yes, for any organic compound to have such type of isomerism, geometrical isomerism, there are again two conditions. First is existence of a double bond or restricted rotation. The rotation around that particular bond is restricted. It is not possible to rotate that particular molecule around that bond. The restricted rotation, that is, a small ring or double bond must be present in the compound. And second condition is that doubly bonded carbon atom must be connected to two different groups or atoms. Then and then only the spatial arrangement is different, and we have the two types of isomers, yes, cis and trans. Okay, so you know all these types of isomers and isomerism. This year we are going to focus our attention on the another type of stereoisomerism, that is conformational isomerism. This is a very interesting example how this character in this cartoon comes to know about stereoisomerism. Snoopy learns stereochemistry. Who is Snoopy? This dog. Okay. This boy comes here, approaches Snoopy and tells him that these are the hands. He shows his hands and says, these are the hands. These are the hands that fixed your supper. तुला खाऊ आणणारे हात हेच आहेत. ओके. हे कॅन ओपन करणारे हात हेच होते आणि त्यांनीच हे खाऊ तुझ्यापर्यंत आणून दिलेला आहे. These are the hands. The boy is telling Snoopy that these are the hands. And what is the answer of Snoopy? But they don't match. Yes, they don't match. Our two hands are not matching each other. These are not superimposable into each other. So this way, Snoopy comes to know about stereochemistry. Very interesting cartoon is there. So the second type of stereoisomerism is the conformational isomerism. This is an isomerism where the isomers are interconvertible into each other without breaking the bond, because these are formed due to the free rotation around that particular single bond. There is a free rotation possible in these different conformers, and therefore one conformer can be converted into another conformer very easily with the rotation, simple rotation, and it does not require the breaking of the. The conformation of a molecule concerns features related to the rotation about the single bond. Due to that particular rotation around the single bond, the molecule has different shapes, different structures, and those different forms are called conformers, and the phenomenon is named as conformational isomerism. So this slide gives us information regarding the types of isomerism. Isomerism where same molecular formula is there but different structural formulae are there. Isomerism is divided into two types: constitutional isomerism and stereoisomerism. We have seen the examples of constitutional isomerism, chain isomerism, position isomerism, and functional group isomerism. Whereas in stereoisomerism, the molecular formula is same, structural formula is also same, but it differs in the configuration or the arrangement of groups or atoms in space. Stereoisomerism is of two types further: configurational isomerism and conformational isomerism. Configurational isomerism, for example, optical isomerism and geometrical isomerism. Optical isomerism is seen in compounds having asymmetric carbon atom, that is C star or asterisk represents that this carbon is connected to 4 different groups or atoms, P, Q, R, S. It indicates that 4 different groups or atoms are connected to this particular carbon atom. These are named by letters like DL, dextrorotatory or levorotatory. This is also can be represented by signs like plus and minus. Again, there are 2 different types of nomenclature to name these optical isomers, capital DL or RS. These 2 methods of nomenclature are indicating the configuration, different configuration of the isomers. These two methods do not have any connection with their optical activity. Optical activity can be different. Another type of isomerism, configurational isomerism, is named as geometrical isomerism, where the condition is of existence of restricted rotation. The nomenclature we have is like cis trans. If it is in the case of aldoximes or petoximes, that is the compounds having carbon double bond nitrogen in them, it is named as syn and anti, or in some cases it is named by the another method, EZ nomenclature method. So in these optical isomers or geometrical isomers, the isomers are not interconvertible into each other without breaking the bond. If we can break the bond and then again make it in a different manner, then and then only the isomer can be converted into another isomer. Whereas it is the free rotation possible in case of the compounds, and due to this free rotation, whatever different forms of the compounds are obtained or seen or observed, these are called conformational isomers, and the phenomenon is called conformational isomerism. This we are going to study in detail this year. In case of aliphatic compounds, also there is conformational isomerism, and in case of alicyclic compounds also there is such conformational isomerism. We are going to see this in detail with the example cyclohexane. Let us have this particular slide zoomed in different direction so that you can draw this particular chart diagram, which is giving us full information regarding the type of isomerism. So isomerism, constitutional isomerism, three types: chain, position and functional group isomerism. Stereoisomerism, the two types are conformational isomerism and configurational isomerism. Configurational isomerism, two types, optical and geometrical. Conformational isomerism, due to free rotation in aliphatic compounds, is named as staggered, eclipsed, skew or gauche. These are the different terms which are being introduced this year. We are going to understand these different terms very perfectly. Not only that, we are going to represent such different isomers, staggered, eclipse, skew or gauche isomers on paper. The three-dimensional structure of the compound or isomers we are going to draw on the paper. Very interesting method of representation is there that we are going to study next lecture. Again, in alicyclic compounds, there are different isomers. The different forms of the compound are named as chair isomer, boat isomer, half boat and twisted boat. These are the different terms which are being introduced this year, and we are going to understand the meaning and representation of all these. So conformational isomerism, the different forms of the same compound obtained when the molecule is rotated freely around the single bond. These different forms are called conformers, and these conformers are due to the free rotation as shown. The molecule of ethane has been shown here. Yes, there is a carbon-carbon single bond. Okay, and one carbon and second carbon, both of these are connected to three different hydrogen atoms. So there is a single bond between carbon, and this particular bond around which the molecule is possibly rotating. Okay. Due to these rotations around this carbon-carbon single bond, number of different conformers, number of different forms of the same compound are obtained. And all these are named as conformers, and the phenomenon is called conformational isomerism. Molecule can be rotated around this particular single bond through 360 degrees, and due to every rotation, every single or small rotation, it can show infinite number of conformers. Okay, due to this free rotation, the compound can show number of different or infinite number of conformers. The extreme conditions are named as staggered and ellipse conformers. What are these different terms and how these can be understood very perfectly? We are going to introduce these three terms in this slide. That is, the extreme conditions are when the two groups which are connected. This is the example. Can you see this? Yes. I'm going to show you this, focusing your attention on this structure. So there are three different kinds of conformers. First is staggered, where the bonds are away from each other as far as possible. The bonds of this carbon and bonds of this carbon are away from each other. Another one is very close to each other, overlapping each other. And third one is in between forms, infinite number of in between forms. All these are called skew or wash. Skew or wash. Okay, so three different conformers of the same molecule we are going to study in detail with the help of this model, taking a closer look to this particular model. Okay. So you can see here, this is the model which shows the molecule of a ethane. You see this? The two black balls are shown, which are nothing but carbon atoms, and these three are the hydrogen atoms connected to the carbon atom. This carbon is also connected to three different carbon atoms. So there is a rotation possible around this particular carbon-carbon. And this free rotation around this particular carbon-carbon single bond is causing different forms of this molecule. This is the, ball and stick model for molecule of ethane. Okay, so let us see how the rotations are causing the three different forms, conformers, staggered, eclipsed and skew or wash. Okay, let me show you the model. Okay, if the bonds, if the hydrogen atoms of this carbon and hydrogen atoms of this carbon are very close to each other, the distance between them is very less. In this condition, you can see, perfect overlapping of the bonds is there. The carbon-hydrogen bond of back carbon and front carbon are overlapping each other very perfectly. Okay, can you see this perfect overlapping? Yes. In this particular condition, the two hydrogen atoms are very close to each other. These two are also very close to each other, and these two are also very close to each other. Okay, so this is the extreme condition where the hydrogen atoms or groups are very close to each other. The distance between them is minimum. In that case, this is the conformer called eclipsed. This is the conformer called eclipse. There is perfect overlapping. If you see like this, okay, perfect overlapping is there. This is the one extreme condition eclipsed conformer. Okay. Another conformer, for this we have to rotate the molecule to observe this another extreme condition. Can you see here? Yes. Now there is no overlapping. Yes, this hydrogen bond is in between these two. Away from this, the distance between the two hydrogens is maximum. Yes, you will see this in this manner. Yes, the maximum distance is there. These hydrogens are away from each other as far as possible. And therefore, this is the extreme condition which is named as staggered conformer. The groups or atoms are away from each other as far as possible. This is second extreme condition which is called staggered conformer. Okay? And all the in-between forms, are named as, yes, skew or Bosch conformer. All the in-between forms, which is neither eclipsed nor staggered. Okay. All the in-between forms are named as Bosch or skew conformers. So in this way, with the help of ball and stick model, we have understood the meaning of staggered conformer, eclipsed conformer, and skew or Bosch conformer. Okay. Next, we are going to see the ways to represent these different conformers on paper. Very interesting methods are there. Three methods are there: Fisher's dotted line and wedge formula method, then Sawhorse method, and Newman's projection formula method. These three methods we are going to discuss in detail in the next lecture. Okay. So in this particular lecture, what we have seen, the different types of isomerism. Yes, constitutional isomers and stereoisomers. Different types of stereoisomerism, that is configurational isomerism and conformational isomerism.